Hello guys, welcome back. In this video, let's go and create the agent from LangFlow. In the earlier video, I showed you how to create the basic prompting and the vector store rag from the managed service of LangFlow. In this video, I want to go through the LangFlow, but how to install that in your computer. For that, what we can do is just start in GitHub, meaning that this is the link that takes us to the LangFlow GitHub. LangFlow is a low-code app builder for RAG and multi-agent AI applications. It's Python-based and agnostic to any model, API, and database. If you go down here, there is the documentations. There is the free cloud services, which I showed you in the previous video. And this is the self-managed. If I click in the self-managed, you can see it will take us to the documentation how we can install this in our computer. Let's get directly into it. Now I will open my terminal. Here I will go inside my YouTube stops repository. YouTube stops. So here what I'm going to do is create a folder called LangFlow example. So I will go inside the LangFlow example. I just want to show you from the ground up so you know how to do it. This is the Python specific, meaning that what I recommend always is to create a virtual environment before starting the project. But I have been showing you how to use UV, which manages the virtual environment itself for us, right? In this case, I'm going to use UV, and just to show you also in the LangFlow documentation itself, they are also showing us how to install it using UV, meaning that it's fast and easy to configure different things. So first thing first, I hope you have UV installed. If you don't have the UV, I have created the video. If you go to my YouTube channel, go to the home, maybe the videos, and if you scroll a little bit down, I think here, extremely fast Python package manager written in Rust. You can follow this, or if you don't want to follow that also, there is the UV. If you just type UV, it will not show here, but you can say UV Python, and now this is here, Python packaging Rust. You can follow this. This is the blog post, but you get the idea. You can go through this documentation here and know what is UV all about. Let's go to the document. It says here UV pip install LangFlow. If you go in this path, then you need to create a virtual environment by yourself, but I don't want to go into that path. I want UV to manage that. I will just paste it to show you what happens. It will ask me to create a virtual environment. No virtual environment found. You can use UV, VENV and create the virtual environment, but I don't want to create myself and install inside it. But what we can do is initialize a project, because what happens with initializing the project with UV is it install everything inside the PyProject, the toml file, and we don't need to care anything. It will spawn the virtual environment itself, and all the dependencies are managed by UV. How to proceed in that way is you can say UV init. So this is the command here, UV init version 3.11, because we already have it. But if we don't have it also, it will install for us, and we can give the name LangFlow YT. If I run this, it says initialize the project. If I do LSLIA, what happens is it created these 4 files which are empty. This readme it is empty. Hello is simple template, and this is the Python version. So if I say cat.python version, it will show 3.11 because we specified that okay, use this. And if I go and say what is inside the PyProject toml file, you can see just a normal flow, the project name, and Python 3.11. Here it says UV pip install LangFlow, and we need to create the virtual environment. But what we can do is now go with the UV's flow. How to add the package in UV? You can say UV add LangFlow. Simple command to use, and you can just run this. Now you can see it created the virtual environment itself and install all the necessary dependencies. It was quite fast. And now what happens if I do again LSLIA, you can see there is a virtual environment being created by UV itself, and everything is installed in the PyProject toml, meaning that there is a LangFlow. Right, if I do cat PyProject toml, you can see now there is this LangFlow version greater than or equals to 1.1.1. So that is being installed. And if you still want to know what are the different dependencies that was installed, you can just do uv3 and it will show you all the dependencies. Here you can see packages tree already displayed, and you can see all the different packages, and inside the packages what is the other dependencies also from here. If you go on the top, there is LangFlow, of course, because the project is LangFlow YT, right? And inside that there is a LangFlow package. Inside there now you can see all the different dependencies being installed inside it. By this simple tree command you can see all the dependencies. This is quite handy already from the terminal. Now if you go to the documentation, we install our way. You can use any of these, whatever you want to do. Now the next thing is we need to run the command. That's it. So you said uv run langflow run. That is the same command that we need to run using uv. So I can just go here and I can say uv run langflow run. What this will do now is spawn up the UI for us. And now it will show the URL for us to go. And once it is shown, we can just do the same thing that we did in the previous video where I showed you the basic prompting and the vector rag. But in this case we are going to use the models from the Grog cloud. So now it's starting the LangFlow version 1.1.1. There are some deprecations, but we don't need to care about that. Now it says here, click this, okay, this one, open, and now you can see this is the same UI that we had before. I can say new flow. These two things I already showed you before. Now we are going to use the template provided here, simple agent. So yeah, you can see this is the simple agent now already being shown us. Here this is the readme as before. This is the description of what the agent is all about, and we have here two tools because that is connected to the tools. But before going into this, because agent under the hood uses the LLM, right? You can see here by default it is choosing OpenAI, and from here you can choose different providers. Then it is using the tools, and we can provide as many tools as we want. And there is the chat input and there is the chat output. We get input, we get output. There is a LLM and there is an agent. Agent uses the LLMs and we provide many tools around it. So that's the agent, right? And if you have multiple agents, that's what it calls the multi-agent frameworks. There might be many agents and there might be one controlling all the different agents and so on, but that's different path. But here let's understand the simple agent. We can use this or we can remove some of these and test it ourselves, right? So just to understand what is here, you can see this is the readme of this particular template, and here there is the URL, there is the calculator, and that is passed as a tool here into the agent. So let's first understand the agent, because agent, you can see there is LLMs under the hood and there is the agent instructions, tools, and all the things connected here. You can see the instruction is also quite good, because if you go here you can see you are a helpful assistant. You can provide the information to the assistant based on your use cases. This is how you can provide the instructions. The basic calculations can be done by LLM itself, but if we have the calculator, we can say, okay, use calculator as a tool and so on. And here you can see the default is OpenAI's model. So what we can do from here, we can use the Grog. So if you go here, you can choose the Grog, and now you can see by default it is showing all the different models that we can use from the Grog, and we need to provide the API key. In order to provide the API key, I can go to the Grog's website. I have already created the API key. I can copy this. I'll provide the link for you, but you can just go to the main here and go to the API key. From here you can get the API key. I will paste. Now I can use the models from the Grog, because without the API key we cannot use it, right? But this URL, I don't even need this. If you don't need, you can just go here and delete it. So now we just have one calculator as a tool. So I just want to show you with basic things that you can even delete. I showed you in my previous video, but for you again here also, if you click on one of those, for example this, if you go here in the code, you will see all the code being written for that particular things. So edit your Python code snippet, refer to the Lang product for more information on how to write your own components, right? Because this is one of the component, and you can edit here whatever you want to do. and now you can see, and now this is being connected to the tools. To test if it works, you can click run the component, each of those components. But what you can do is run this last component, because this is the calculator. It says component error building grog language model. Why? Okay, here is the grog. We provided the API keys. AI, it's still saying OpenAI, so we need to go to the grog. I think there was something wrong there when I went through the controls, and now I can paste the API key that I just copied here, and then I can do this. I can again save this, so it should be green, meaning that what happens under the hood. Now I just noticed once you configure these things, it somehow goes to the default one. Just to show you, for example, if I go to the code and check and save, now you can see by default it is the grog, but it went to the OpenAI. So these things please take into account. What you can do is go to the grog, click this, and you can choose the models and provide the API key here, which I have already copied. That's it. Once you do the changing, go here, run this one. Once this is done, this is green. Now we can test. We have the calculator. I can go to the playground. Here I can just say, for example, what is AI? If I say what is AI, you can see the answer is already there, but it will not use any tools. That's my understanding here. It does not need to go through the tools. But if I ask something related to mathematics, for example, I can say what is 3 plus 4? Simple mathematics calculation, but it says 7. LLM knows how to answer this, of course, but then it will use the tool, because here you can see this is the history that is being taken there. And if I scroll it down where I ask what is 3 plus 4, it says 7. It didn't use the calculator. But what if I say 4 plus 5 minus 3 times 3, or maybe I can say 23, 234, something like this. If I do send, let's see if it now uses the calculator or not. So it says AI finished in 0.7 seconds. If I go here, again, there is the history on top of it. Now if I scroll down, okay, it says answer is 240, but it didn't use the calculator, right? So if I close here, I have the tool as a calculator being passed into the tools, but it is not using the calculator, because this is the simple math and it just understands. But what I can do, I'll show you one additional thing here. I can go here into the tools and add something extra, right? Because it does not have the latest information. Before adding, I'll just show you one thing, and I will show you how the tools will be used. So what I can say here is, I can say who is the president of Finland currently. I will ask this question. It went through this, an error occurred, simply this validation error. Further informations, there is this pydantic version something error. So let me again ask. I don't know why this is here. An error occurred in the component stopping your flow. Was there something? I haven't asked anything here. Let me run it again. There is an issue here. Why is the issue here? I have the calculator. I can use some other models if I want. I think I need to provide the API key again. I'll copy the API key. I will go here, paste the API key. I will run this first if it works. Okay, it still fails. It says here error building component agent. Why is that? This input is going here, calculator is going to the tools, right? So what might be going wrong here? Input grog API key. Or maybe what if this happens, what I do sometimes, I'll just go back, I'll create a new flow, I'll go to simple, I will just remove this, I will just go here, I'll go to grog, because I want to use the grog. I will provide the API key, right, and I will just say it save. That's it. It took some time and now it's passing, because sometimes what happens is if you are using in the UI, something happens under the hood and it throws some error. I'll go to the playground. Now this is the playground. Let's say who is the president of Finland? Just a question. I'm not aware of the current president of, however, I can solve these things. If you go here, it says human and there is no tool being used. But let me ask one question if it still hits the calculator. What is 56 times 5? Now it says 280. It shows the calculator. So this is how, because sometimes it uses the calculator, sometimes it does not use the calculator. I just want to show you this with real-time debugging so you know how to do these things, right? So it says here, I don't know about the president of Finland. What I can do now is use some tools. I can go to the tools. I can use DuckDuckGo. This is free. So I can just bring it here. You can, by the way, use other also. Google Search API. There is even Search API. This one, SORP API, Tabili AI Source, Wikipedia API, and so on. But I will use the DuckDuckGo. What I can do, I have this DuckDuckGo now. I don't need to provide anything. I will just take this tool and provide it to the tools in the agent. So now I have the DuckDuckGo here. But first I need to make sure it works. So I will run the component. It misses the query here. Maybe say hello, just as a simple query. It needs the query because it says here asterisk. I will run this. It runs because some things are mandatory that you need to provide. If you go to the playground now, it's already mathematics. Now I will ask the same question. Who is the president of Finland? Now it should know the answer, but it says here tool DuckDuckGo variable reserves where it is not associated with a value. Okay, so something is wrong. Okay, I don't know what is happening under the hood sometimes, but if I now again go into this and run, it is still saying, okay, building component isn't wrong. So I don't know what is happening under the hood, but again, how to do the debuggings in the UI. I don't want to go into technical and see what is happening. If you go to the terminal, it is all being shown here. So what is happening? And there is the issue with the pydantic or something. Error in DuckDuckGo source cannot assess local variable results where it is not associated with a value. Let me go here. Instead of DuckDuckGo, if I do this, does it pass? Let's see if it passes or not, because I just want to test if that is due to the DuckDuck. So it is still running the agent. If it passes, we know that is because of the DuckDuckGo tool being used. But if not, then there may be something wrong with the agent itself. But let's see. It is taking some time. If this is not the issue, then we can use some other tools. We can use as many tools as we want here. We can maybe even use the Wikipedia API. But it is taking some time. This might also happen because the grok does not hit there, because there might be some limited times that we can have the API calls. What we can do just to test, this is taking some time. I can stop it and I can again run if it works, because sometimes it works by default. It's still running in the. So what I can do just to test that this is because of the grok, maybe sometimes I can stop this. I will go here and with the OpenAI here, I will choose the model, okay, GPT-4o mini, and I will get the API key. Let me get the API key. I have it somewhere here. Okay, this is the OpenAI API key I already have there. I will just paste it here. Agent instructions, I don't need to change anything. I will just now save it. Let's see if it works. Okay, it works. So this is how you do the debugging, because sometimes there might be some limitations in calling the API. But now I will again bring back the tool, the same tool I want, right? But first let's make sure it works. I will go here. I will again say the same question. Okay, it already provided because we had this question. I can again ask. I'll go here just to show you that it is the same thing here. The current president of Finland is Sauli Niinisto. He has been in office in 2012, but it is not correct because this GPT-4o mini does not have the recent informations. That is the reason we want the DuckDuckGo. So now I will just go here and get the DuckDuckGo here, and then I will connect this tool to the tool. That's it. And now I will again say run. Okay, looks like something is missing a query here. I can say hello just for now, and I will run it. Let's see if it passes now. Okay, it still does not pass. So it seems that when I pass this, it has issue with this one. But what if I pass? Maybe what I can do is some other Wikipedia API maybe. Let's see. We have the Wikipedia API. Let's drag. Okay, it's already there. I can have the tools being passed into the tools. That's correct. And here we can say if I pass this, okay, this is working. If I pass this, this is also working. This is fine. Now I'm using the Wikidata API. If I run this, it should all pass. Yes. Current president, I can ask the question again because this was the previous one. Now you can see that it is going to that, and then it still says the Shaolin Init, so meaning that it is not correct. Although it uses the tool, uses the Wikidata API tool, but it still founds Shaolin, and it even provides the URL, but that is not correct. I just want to show you that it works with, maybe let's use the Wikipedia API instead of data, right? I will use Wikipedia. This is how we do the trial and error to test it. I'm just showing you all the different things so that you also get the idea how you can use this tool. I can just go here. I can say number of results here, English, yeah, that's fine. There is no input mandatory now, but we can just take this tool and connect. I will first make sure it works. It works. I will make sure now with this one, it should pass. Let's see, it passes. Now I can go here. Now it is correct because the current president of Finland is Alexander Stubb. I will have a new chat, and here I will say hello. Make sure it works. Okay, hello, how can I assist you? I can now say what is the population of Nepal as of 2024 and divide by 5. I just want to know that it uses the tools assessing the Wikipedia, because that is the tool that we provided, right? It is assessing the Wikipedia. It needs to use the calculator. You can see that it uses the calculator also. So as of 2024, the estimated population of Nepal is this, divided by 5, it is this. Now if you go inside it, that is the history. Before, it uses the Wikipedia and it went down, Wikipedia, demographics of Nepal, and then it uses the calculator and it finds the answer. I hope now you get the idea. Sometimes it might be the agent or the LLM. Sometimes it might not be the tool, but some configurations with the agent. So why I'm saying you this is also because this is because the UI low code things is for non-technicals. Let's say in a way non-technical, because everyone can use it. If you are technical, you know how to code, that's good, you can debug the things. But the reason of showing all these back and forth things here is to show you that sometimes just changing the LLM might work for you. Just give a try and create some cool agents out of it, but first try it with different small agents or tools so that you get the idea when it is calling which one. I hope you learned something new from this video. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.